Do you like catching movies in the theaters? Check out MoviePass, where you can see a movie every single day for as low as $30 a month. And IAYTD has the hookup, where you can click the link in the description box below to try MoviePass for 2 weeks before committing to it. Only available in the United States currently, but check out the website for a full list of participating movie theaters near you.
And the Oscar goes to...
Hello and welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. Today we are talking about the Academy Awards. So every year we watch them, we want to know who the best picture is, it's kind of a big deal, but what are they? How are movies eligible? How do they get chosen? How do they win? And what goes into that whole thing? So today we're going to dive in to the Academy Awards. In 1927, the first meeting of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences happened, where some Hollywood heavy hitters met together to celebrate the best in their business. It was spearheaded by Louis B. Mayer, the head of MGM at the time. It began almost as a union of sorts, with discussions about pay and negotiations, but it quickly shifted towards celebration, culminating with the first award ceremony in 1928. Contrary to what happens today, the winners were announced 3 months prior to the awards, so there really wasn't a sense of surprise. Then there was a bit of a shift, so they tried to keep it a surprise, but they wanted people to talk about it, so they would give the press the winners so that they could be published and discussed on the radio immediately afterwards. But this stopped in 1940 when the Los Angeles Times printed the winners prior to the ceremony. That prompted the now super secret method of the sealed envelope. But before we talk about the winners, let's talk about who gets to choose these winners. Who gets to be a member of the Academy? Membership into the Academy is very difficult to get. Either you must win what they consider to be a competitive award, which is rather vague, or you can be sponsored by 2 individuals in the same field as you. There are 17 branches of the Academy, and you can only be a member in one. So for example, 2 film editors can sponsor another film editor to be a potential member. A full exhaustive list of members is not public, but they do often publicize the new members to the Academy, so it's not entirely secretive either. Each branch of the Academy has 3 governors, which help to coordinate and make decisions about their specific interests. Some governors you may know. For the actors branch, Ed Begley Jr., Annette Bening, and Tom Hanks are the 2015 to 16 governors. For directors, we've got people like Michael Mann, Catherine Bigelow, and Edward Zwick. In total, there are almost 6,000 voting members of the Academy. In terms of demographics, they are 94% white, 77% male, and 86% over the age of 50. 33% of the total membership are winners of awards themselves. Now, this is from a 2012 survey from the LA Times with a sample size of 5,000 of the total Academy members. Now, let's talk about how a film is eligible for an award. The film must open between January 1st and December 31st of a given year, even in limited release, and it has to be open for 7 consecutive days. A film opening on December 29th would fail to meet the criteria for that year, but it would meet the criteria for the following year as soon as it hits 7 consecutive days. It must also be feature length, meaning more than 40 minutes, with the exception of certain short-length awards. The producers for a movie must then complete an official self-nomination form with the entire list of screen credits for their film. If the producers don't submit this information on time, the film will not be eligible. So now, a list of all eligible movies gets sent to the nearly 6,000 voting members. In this phase, members choose the nominees in their own field. For example, the directors branch narrows down which directors might be nominated. For the Best Picture category, all branches get to decide the nominees. Then in the second round of voting, once nominations are done, all branches can vote for all categories to decide the actual winners. Now, who tallies these votes, and how has there never been a leak? The Academy outsources its voting to an accounting firm called PricewaterhouseCoopers. The awards don't actually happen until usually March or so there's a few months that the voting gets to happen. PricewaterhouseCoopers gathers the votes, but no single employee looks at the entirety of a pool. For example, one accountant might enter a fraction of each award, but they never get to see the larger picture, so it's really difficult to make extrapolations. Each count is done 7 times to make sure it's absolutely accurate without error. They even print out congratulation cards for all of the nominees so that the printing technicians don't know the winner. Now there's 2 staff members that destroy the losing cards and place the winning cards in the envelopes. There are 2 complete sets of winning envelopes that are brought to the awards in person with these 2 staff from PricewaterhouseCoopers, and each of them is accompanied by a full security detail. They've decided to never utilize technology to announce the winners, such as a teleprompter, as this opens up the pool of people that might be able to leak this information. Prior to the actual announcement, only these two trusted staff at PricewaterhouseCoopers are the only two to know the full list of winners. Even the physical awards don't have engraved names on them until after the awards ceremony. At the party following the ceremony, an inscription specialist has prepared plates for all of the potential winners, and they can affix the proper nameplates to the actual award now that it's public knowledge. You also might be wondering why the physical statue is called an Oscar. Interestingly enough, there is not a definitive answer. It's been called that since 1939 at least, and the only tales of why it's called that are unverified. Some claim it's because the statue resembled someone named Oscar, or in tribute to a lost loved one or a esteemed colleague named Oscar, but really no one knows. You also might be thinking about how valuable these statues are, considering their rarity. Winners of awards must now sign an agreement that before they ever sell their Academy Award to anyone, they must offer to sell it back to the Academy for $1 American. This means that they are rarely sold back. Prior to this agreement, though, a few Oscars have been bought in auctions. The Best Screenplay Award for Citizen Kane was sold for over $800,000. Now, during these few months of voting, there is sometimes aggressive campaigning that happens, as producers try to get their movies into the hands of these 6,000 voting members. Most movies get sent to voters free of charge, as there isn't a requirement to see all the movies in a category before you vote. By providing free copies, more voters might see and vote for your film. While social media seems the easiest way to go, surprisingly, print marketing is still more effective for this audience of voters. So producers often will buy for your consideration ads in big Hollywood magazines. Most Best Picture campaigns run about $10 million total. This sort of campaigning doesn't always matter, such as Monique's supporting actress win in 2009's Precious. She refused to do any press or campaigning for Precious, yet still took home the Oscar.
I would like to thank the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics.
So that is just a little snapshot about the Oscars, the Academy Awards, what they mean, who gets to vote, kind of the intricacies inside. It's very complicated and a lot more than you would think by just watching the actual ceremony. So hopefully this was interesting, and as always, let me know what you want to see on future installments of What is Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Congratulations to each of you for your astonishing achievement.